What's up, people? How you guys doing? Welcome to another episode of Market Watch. I'm Erik T. Jackson. He's Eddie Chinea, founder of EightOne Capital LLC. In the building. What's up,
Once
brother?
again, what's going on, man? Just school year to be over with.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, man. Hey,
I'm ready. I got a half day tomorrow and I'm done.
another day closer to the summer, man.
Man, you're not lying. Yo, I remember as a kid, man, summers seemed like they lasted forever. And when I was
Yeah,
an adult, it's like, man, them 2 months are here and they're gone, and boom, we're back at it, new school year. You know what I mean?
I figured that out, man. I don't think it was when I was in the force, but in the private sector. But once I started teaching, it just didn't feel like the summers was long anymore, man. I'm like, what the
I'm telling you,
hell?
it goes back. So I remember Christmas vacation seemed like it lasted forever. Like, oh man, two
It felt
weeks
like
off.
it felt like 3 weeks to me.
Yeah, man. And
And
now
that's
it's like,
the,
well, no, I tell my students all the time, like, yo, enjoy high school because when it's done, the years start flying by, man.
yeah,
So,
yeah, a week and a half, what it feels like. So today's show is gonna be about 10 assets that are making people rich. And guys, I want y'all to make sure y'all tune in to these, and maybe you can implement some of these things in your lives, because uh, these assets are really driving people to become millionaires, multimillionaires, you know, and have nest eggs to leave their family for generations. So, these are some really good things that you need to pay attention to. Let's start with a couple of things in financial news. Uh, what do you think about Nvidia, bro, and the rally that they had today?
let me tell you, they're crushing estimates, man. You know, they keep putting out more and more things, and with the AI craze that's going on right now,
Yeah,
I keep telling myself, yeah, I'm gonna wait. I'm waiting on NVIDIA to come down. Wait
yeah,
on me to come down. I said that at 250. I said it at 260. I said 280. It's not, 305, man, and it's. And I
yeah,
mean, what you know what I mean? Ends up closing it after hours. I'm sorry, 380.
yeah. Yeah, so it got up to like 391, but yeah, it's back down to 380. Some guys been taking profits, but it was almost at
Well,
400 today at its highest. But yeah, and I read that was the highest it's ever been. And so,
it's getting
and
crazy, scary how they just keep performing, man. I'll tell you,
and I have,
they
yeah, and I have
go ahead.
AMD, and it sort of mirrors uh Nvidia, and I
Yeah,
was,
yeah. AMD's up like 10% today too.
yeah, it was up a lot. It was up like 26, so I was pleasantly surprised, because I don't check my stuff every day like I used to, but I did get on there today, and I was pleasantly surprised at that. You know what I'm saying? Uh, and it had to do with Nvidia. Uh, Talking about they're going to start manufacturing more AI chips for AI, and there's a demand for that, and so it went crazy because of that.
Well, and again, I mean, again, you got to think when they report earnings, management gets a chance to speak also, right? So
Yeah,
we start talking about, uh, what's coming, our future guidance. You know what I mean? What's going on? What do they have coming on the pipeline, right? I mean,
yeah,
they beat revenues by 670. I think they beat their EPS by 17 cents. You know what I mean? That gives people like, man, it's strong,
yep,
strong, solid beats, man.
yep,
And that happens. People get to invest in it. Like I said, I've been
absolutely.
waiting for it to come back down, man, hoping that, we get a little bit of a reprieve in price here, man, so I can load up on some more shares. But
Yeah,
hey, it's been going. So anybody that's out there, if you got it and you want to take some profit, you can never go broke taking a profit. I'll tell you
yeah,
that.
yeah, and I feel like it will a little bit, but it's gonna be back at around 400 before too long. Uh, let's talk about another story that I saw in the news today. Elon Musk is in the news. What else is new, right? Uh,
Right.
I saw an article where he bought this. It's a tiny home for like $50,000. Like the square footage is like 370 something square feet.
Yeah.
You know,
I've
and
seen those things, man. Because I think the name's Possible. And I've seen it.
yeah,
They come, they kind of just stack these boxes up and put together a home for you.
they said they can put it together in about an hour.
Yeah,
Yeah, and so
it's crazy.
there's becoming a market for that. A lot of people are there. Well, there's a waiting list of 170,000 for these tiny homes. They're called what, casitas or something like that. And
Yeah, I
and so
mean, it makes
there's,
sense when it's affordable, you know.
yeah, yeah, and there's a REIT, a real estate investment trust, that's buying them up, that's investing in these casitas, and because of that demand, and so that was just interesting, you know.
Well, I find it like this, man. You think if people are like, oh man, I'd love to, buy a piece of land and then eventually put a house on it, but they're like, what's it going to cost to build a house? Well, you go get a piece of land, you know what I mean? You're out there in the middle of nowhere, you're off the grid, and you buy one of
Yeah,
these things for 50 grand, man. Look at here, could be
yeah.
set. You know what I
If
mean?
you
You don't
don't,
need much room, you know what I mean? Unless you're doing it to host and to invite people over and everything.
if you
But
don't have,
either way,
yeah,
perfect.
if it's just you, or maybe even just you and the girl, y'all could probably
Yeah.
do it. If y'all have one or two kids, probably not.
Yeah, unless you want to be living on top of each other, man. I'm good on that.
Right, right. All right, man. Let's get into it. 10
Let's do it.
assets that are making people rich. Asset number
Yeah,
one,
let's do it.
stocks. Stocks are making people rich. And I grew up wanting to be rich, not really knowing about stocks though. And so once I figured out that this was one of the big proponents that propel wealth, I jumped right into it. And so, you know, I'm on that bandwagon right now. I'm on that train. Uh, I know you've had a more extensive, a longer period relationship with stocks. What do you think?
Look, I know that investing is the key. You want to build, generational wealth.
Hmm.
You got to have some stuff, that you got to risk it to get the biscuit. You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
yeah, stock people get afraid, man. Oh my God, it's risky. Well, everything is risky. You know what I mean? You can go into something like bonds, and you know what I mean, and be losing money. So, but if you're really looking to generate that wealth, man, yes, stocks and finding solid companies with good financials, right?
yeah,
Companies going to be around for a long time, and I mean, yeah, that's really a way. I mean, look at Nvidia. You know what I mean? You go back and you look at
right.
Nvidia, and they were trading that. You got down at the lows back when they were trading at $100 a share.
Yeah,
Well, you just made $270. You know what I mean?
right.
You
And
know
if
what I
we're
mean?
just, yeah, if we're just talking individual stocks, which number one it is, you know, you want to pick the right ones for you. Everybody pick different stocks. If you want uh higher risk stocks, you can pick those, or if you want stocks that sort of flow with the market, you can pick those as well. There's
Yeah,
penny
just blend everything
stocks,
out there, man.
there's
Yeah, yeah.
marijuana stocks, you know what I'm
Whatever
saying?
whatever your
Dividend
flavor is.
stocks,
Yeah,
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 yeah. So
yeah.
you can find different ways to invest in stocks and make money, or in this case get rich. Let's look
Yeah,
at the
with somebody,
second.
right, everybody will be well, and and with individual stocks, it's not easy to do it. All right, and
Right.
anything that we mentioned on here, guys, is we're not telling you to go out and we're not saying to go and buy it, but just things that we look at and things that have performed well. And,
Yep.
you always do your due diligence. But if you're really looking to make it, unless you have another way, your own business or you're in a private equity, things of that sort,
Yep.
to invest some of your money into the markets is, it's not a bad idea.
Absolutely. Number two, bonds. Bonds is a good way to get rich, because I think they're a lot less risky, uh, and so I know my dad had a lot of bonds growing up, and he's old school, and he felt like, instead of being risky, I'll just have my money grow slowly over time, and you can still get rich that way. What do you
You
think?
can. You just have to, the only difference there is, right, risk reward, right?
Yeah,
Low risk, probably low reward. So, you might find a bond that's paying you 3, 4, 5%. As long as you keep it up with inflation, yeah, you can do it. And it's probably more something people that have a shorter time horizon, right, for their retirement.
Yep.
that want to start getting more to the conservative side of investing and might want to put more of their money into bonds, right, to
Right.
be able to kind of preserve that stuff. So, but there's ways to do it, and it's not just people think bonds. Don't just think in terms of U.S. government bonds, savings bonds, right? The T
Right.
bill, blah blah blah. Excuse me. There are corporate bonds you can buy also. Some
Yep.
of the corporate bonds, man, they pay good dividends. Uh, well, I say dividends, what they're paying back, like a HTGC, I think is Hercules Capital,
Okay.
right? So like a business development company,
Yep.
and I
I know
guess they
them.
did a bond issuance. Yeah, they had a bond issuance, man. I think they're paying first issuance was like for 2026 bonds at 2.6%. And it worked all the way, the tiers all the way up to 2033, which is paying like 6.25%.
Yeah.
So, you can get into bonds, corporate bonds, right? High
Right.
yielding corporate bonds, which are going to pay
Right.
more than the municipal state, right? Government bonds. But
Right.
again, with everything, I mean, there's risk with everything, right? Try to check
Yeah.
the credit
Yeah.
quality of the company. You don't just go and say, oh, you know, Kmart, I'm going to buy some of the bonds they're selling. Yeah, well, you have money from Kmart bonds. Yeah, do your due diligence, man. Go through and
Yep.
research, man. Make
That's
sure
right. Don't just
strategy is
buy
good.
any old bond. Just like you don't want to buy any old stock. Don't buy
That's
any
right.
old bond. Do your research.
That's right.
Uh, Next up, real estate. That's another one of the tenets of building wealth that I speak of, and
Sure.
so it's part of uh, a list of 10 assets that are making people rich right now, and so this real estate that we speak of is not REITs, it's not stocks, it's actual property,
Correct.
houses,
Land ownership,
commercial real
housing, right?
estate, land.
Multifamily, right?
Yes.
Investments. You turn around, you flip them, right? Uh, Problem with real estate right now, though, man, is just because what mortgage rates are at.
Yeah.
With the mortgage demand that was down, rates started surging again up to almost 7%, I think today, and
So
so really
this is
once
how
they
I feel
stop,
about that. The rates only matter to people that borrow, to regular folks that have to borrow money to get real estate. If you have cash, the rates don't mean squat. You just pay the
right,
cash.
yeah, if you're going to pay cash, I'm a big proponent though that cash is king, man. So you
Yeah.
look at some of these like private equity companies, which we'll talk about here in a minute, but you're performing just in a broad sense,
Hmm.
private equity deals, they're going to limit the amount of cash, the equity they have to put up,
Yeah.
and get the leverage, and use more of it, the bank's money, right? So again, if I have
Right.
the money to go out and buy something in cash, yeah, I'm gonna buy it. But now, am I using up my cash where I need to be fixing this thing up? Right? Is there going to be some kind of cost, right? So I'm going to have to leave some kind
Right.
of emergency fund. So the roof starts to leak, right? You got tenants, and now the bathroom's broken. You got to get somebody out there to fix
Hmm.
it.
So
But
this is why I feel like people with cash are winning right now in this climate, because it's tough for uh, the regular guy to get a loan that he likes because the rates are so high. So people that maybe sell real estate uh, or just are flush with cash come in and swoop up the real estate that even you can afford. So it's like there's not really a lot of good things out there, even if
well,
you
you
wanted
got
to buy
demand
in this
starting to slow,
market,
right?
because
Right.
people with cash are buying it up.
Yeah, well, demand starting to slow with the with rates going up, with mortgage rates, interest rates being elevated.
Hmm.
Less people are seeking those mortgages. If you're going to sit and wait and hold on to rates come out. I talked to my wife about it today. We would love to just sell a house, man, and go buy something else.
Hmm.
But it's like, why? I'm at a 2.625, man. I'm not
Hmm.
going to get a 6.5% interest rate. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when people are
Yeah.
not out there buying. You got these people that now, right? So the market that has been, hot. It was a seller's market. Well, now there's going to
Yeah.
be more and more inventory available to be purchased. Well, if there's
Right.
more inventory and there aren't very many people that are borrowing, well, now your people that have cash have a little bit more leverage where they can come and say, hey, you've been trying to sell this thing now for 180 days and it hadn't sold, man. And you want 350 for it, man. I'll give you 325 cash, right, or 300
Yeah.
cash.
So
So having
so I
cash, yeah,
talked to
it's good.
yeah. So I talked to maybe two, maybe three people today about their homes and how they are appraising them like double, simply to so they can increase their home taxes. and they don't feel like they're having to fight those appraisals because they don't feel like their homes are appraised fairly. Have you had to deal with
Look,
that?
yeah, and I'm trying to go the other way. I want the people to stop jacking up my taxes every year, man. Dang, assessed value keeps going up every year. We got to best out,
No,
but
yeah, that's what they're doing. They're
yeah,
trying
I
to
got
go
to
to
go and
court to
protest
stop
mine.
that.
Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
Stop, over inflating my stuff. Now again, based on the market, coming off of what was happening, last year up until last year summertime when the real estate market was hot, right? It was hot. It was
Hmm.
hot. Well, these people that work for these, tax agencies, they ain't you know, they do their
Yeah.
research too, and so they're gonna say, "Look, we're gonna try to get every penny we can out of it." Now,
Right.
on the flip side of that
Right.
is, yeah, while my taxes are going up, the fact that your appraised value is always going to come back higher than the assessed value.
Yeah.
As long as my assessed value continues to rise, I know that I'm gonna be getting more money. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
When it's time to sell this thing, people got to go get an appraisal. So I
Right.
figured, look at a modest, like a 4% appreciation every year, is
Yeah.
just fine. Come 8 years, my daughter graduates.
Already.
And
Already.
then go to the highest bidder. You can have it. You can have it. Just bring me my money.
So, and I'm asking you this. I haven't asked my friends this yet. This question just came to me. So, what is a red flag when regards to appraising your house for a certain price? Is going up 30% in 6 months, or is that a red
That
flag
would
that
be
they're
to
they're
me.
trying
That
to
would be a
check
red
you up?
flag for sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that would be a red flag. But I mean, man, it all based on the market, man. Right? What's the demand out there? Is it a seller's market? Or
Hmm.
is it a buyer's market? Right? Let you
Hmm.
know how it's going to appreciate well.
Yeah.
When there was limited, inventory, last year, and the real estate market again was on fire. It wasn't uncommon to see like my house appreciated 9, 10, 12% last year. You know what I mean?
Right.
Not me personally, but that's not out of the norm. Now, somebody comes, they're trying to sell you this house for 50% more than what it's really going to be appraised for. Well, then only going to get financed for what it appraises for. So you
Right.
have cash, you want to do it, or got to go back to the negotiating table and say, hey, man, something's got to give here. So
Exactly, man. All right. Number four, very similar. REITs. So, real estate investment trust. It's ETF, and it's actually stocks. It's an ETF that you can that actually has a lot of real estate properties, and you just buy one stock, and you can own a piece of that. Uh, what do you feel like about REITs as far as being an asset that can help you get rich?
there's plenty of it. I mean, plenty of real estate investment trusts out there. I'll say
Hmm.
this,
Hmm.
land, there ain't anybody building any more land, right? So
Yeah.
owning properties and things of that sort, what I mean, is never a bad deal. So again, especially when we talk about diversifying portfolios,
Yeah.
to afford to go out and buy an actual, piece of real estate. Well, invest in some, some REITs, real investment trusts. And I'll tell you this, man, there's some out there that are things that I wouldn't even have thought of, like containers.
Yeah.
Like, there's ones out there that when you think real estate, when you think of, excuse me, buildings, right, homes, right, investment properties, people think when they think real estate.
Yep.
But companies like CubeSmart, I think the ticker
Right.
symbols, it's
Hmm.
Cube, you know, and what do they
Yep.
deal with? They're talking about like personal storage, right?
Right. Yep.
So, I mean, there's a bunch of them out there. I personally am waiting to see. I'm excited to see what happens going into the summer, or I guess coming out of the summer, what like
Yeah.
some of the hotel real estate
Yeah.
investment are, right? How some of those
Yeah.
things are going to do. Now the pandemic's over.
Right. Right.
So
So
Cube
what?
is actually doing, man. They've got strong profitability, man, growth.
Yeah. Yeah.
Minimum. They do a very good job. They've actually, uh, just been performing well. So I mean, if you're
Right.
looking for real estate, don't just limit your scope to housing
Hmm.
unless that's what you're truly into.
Hmm.
There's a
Hmm.
bunch of other ones out there that can be just as profitable for you.
Yeah. And I think I've sort of stayed away from REITs. I've dealt more with property, but I think I'll start probably buying into REITs more as I get older. You know.
Yeah, and there's some good ones out there, man, that pay good dividends. You know what I mean?
Yep. That's another
So
benefit of a REIT. It pays dividends.
yeah, when they do their payouts, man. I mean, there's one Alpine Income Property Trust, and
Hmm.
I think they're yield something like 11%. I mean, the stock's
Wow.
trading at just under $16, and I mean, they declared a 27.5 cent, 28 cent dividend. I think they're number 3 out of 16, I think, in their industry.
Oh
So number
wow.
27 of 178. Yeah, man. So a lot
Yeah.
of them have, this one actually right now looking according to Seeking Alpha. I'm looking at Pine, Pine, Alpine Income Property Trust.
Mm-hmm.
Um, by the authors of Seeking Alpha,
Yep.
considered a buy. Wall Street considers it a strong buy. And then their quants for Seeking Alpha also consider it a buy. So I do have holdings in Alpine. So I'm not just saying, no, man, buy Alpine or anything like that. I do own it. But,
Right.
it's the ones that we're talking about REITs and, some things that
Yep.
have gotten very good, very good safety rating, or excuse me, dividend safety ratings, right? Their growth, their
Okay.
yield. So Alpine, you better
Alpine.
check that out,
I'm
right?
gonna
Again, just
I'm gonna
do
look
due
into
diligence.
that one.
Yeah,
Yep.
I'm not telling anybody to go and dump $1 million in Alpine. That's not what I'm saying. And, yes, I do own it, but it's one that there's a reason why I own it, right? Just because they've gotten, good
Right.
valuation.
Right.
So,
Right. Number 5, businesses, and this is like owning your own business. Uh, I feel like a lot of, like, right now, like we had been for 20 years pushing our youth to get a college degree, like college degree, graduate, then go work for the man. Right. I feel like in the last 3 years we've actually been allowing our youth to use their creativity, their individuality, their mind to sort of set their own way, their own path in life. And I like how that's going, man. These youth, they're very creative, man. They and you can come up with a different business or ideas, and that's the way that you can another way you can get rich, and you know, it's a good way, man. What do you think?
yeah. Well, let me tell you this, man. There's nothing wrong with starting a business, right? Everybody's, some of the ways to generate wealth, right? Residual income,
Yeah.
other income streams, right? Side hustles, whatever. I mean, call it whatever you want, right?
Hmm.
So my wife started her LLC last year. Also,
Yeah.
shout out to her, right? Being consulting services. But it's just a way to find a way to bring in additional income, right? And if it's not income
Right.
you have to live off, man, well, that's money that could be put towards investing, could be put into savings. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's a lot
Yeah.
of things that you can do with that. And then again, if you don't have the biggest business acumen, does not mean that you cannot be a savvy business person, right? Just because
Right.
you don't have a degree, you can't be successful in life.
Right.
So
Right.
now there's so many ways to be creative and to actually apply talents and things that you're into. I mean, think about it like this: when you and I were growing up, how cool would it have been to say, "Man, I want to be a video game. Uh,
Yeah.
I want to get paid to play video games."
A
You know what I'm saying?
tester. Yeah.
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 And at the time, I was like, "Man, nobody's making money doing that." You know what I mean? I remember, hearing that. And now, dude, you cats play video games. They just play and stream it online. People watching, they're getting paid for it. So I'm
And
all
watch
for
it
it.
a
Modern day,
lot.
man.
Yes.
Look,
Me
get it
too,
how you
man.
live, bro. You know what I mean? Get it how you live. If
Absolutely.
you know how to go get
Yep.
it, man. Go get it. Having a business,
Yeah.
another way to income again. And I mean, think about somebody like Marshawn Lynch, right? Yeah, he
Hmm.
played in the NFL, but I think if I'm not mistaken, he didn't spend any of his NFL salary. He just looked off his endorsement money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Yep.
So ways
Yep.
to find residual income, man, other streams of income, and you can never go wrong with that, man. There's
Right.
places you
And
can invest too, man, in private equity and stuff like that. That
right.
they go through and invest in businesses. So if you can't start your own business, you can
Yeah.
invest in businesses that buy other businesses, right? That invest in businesses. So
You're right.
there's plenty of them out there.
And you don't have to be a 25 or 30-year-old millennial to start your own business. You can be,
No.
yeah, you can be older and start your own business, or just the same as you could be older and get a degree, right? We see those stories. You can be older, start your own business,
Sure.
and get rich, make money, make yourself a nice living doing that type of thing as well. Uh, so businesses, number 5. Number 6, index funds. Buddy, what you guys say about index funds, man?
So I'll tell you this. Find some in the index where, it's match the market, right? So we'll look at something like VOO, it's Vanguard's S&P 500 ETF, right? Exchange traded
Yep.
fund, and it's going to match the market. So the market's
Yep.
up, it's up. Market's down, it's down. And, it's a way to invest in the entire market without having to pick and choose individual stocks, right? So then again,
Right.
I'm telling you guys, it's not easy to be a stock picker, man. You may get lucky, but the ones that are really good at it, because it's both an art and a science. So if you're
Hmm.
not good at it, that's okay. You can invest in these funds, right? In these ETFs that will track the S&P 500.
But does
I
that
think
make you good at it? If you say I'm gonna invest in Vanguard, I'm gonna invest in the S&P 500 index funds, and I'm gonna let it ride. Am I a good investor?
you're investing. You know what I mean? Especially if if you look and you see that the VOO is a solid fund. Now there's plenty of S&P 500 funds that may not do as well,
Uh huh.
right? But
Yeah.
I think it was David Swenson, man. He used to run the endowment for Yale, if I'm not mistaken. Said
Okay.
that you can't put together 5 funds that will outperform VOO.
Wow. That's
Yeah,
all I need to hear
so,
right there.
you know what I mean. And
Yeah.
again, there's ones out there. I mean, there's the SPY, which is the spider, right?
Hmm.
S&P
Hmm.
500. So, but
Yep.
if you look at them, it's going to track the market. I mean, they're all basically the same.
Right.
So if you don't want to have to decide what companies to pick and choose, invest in an index fund.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. You invest in when you get into a little bit of trouble when you say, okay, I'm gonna invest in Kathy Woods because she's the hot name right now in her ETF, or I'm gonna invest in uh this oil and gas ETF because it's the hot thing right now. I mean, you want to diversify for sure, and Vanguard, VOO, those are the ones that are really really diversified. You know,
Oh, for sure.
yeah.
And I mean, then there's a bunch of them out there, but you also have VOOG, which is the Vanguard
Hmm.
S&P 500, and it's the growth
Hmm.
ETF, right? So if you're looking
Yeah.
for a little more growth, something that
Already.
be a little more aggressive.
Yeah.
So invest in growth companies. So, but there's plenty of them out there. Like I said, you go through them
Hmm.
and you find out, what you like, what's your flavor,
Yeah.
and
But definitely index funds can help you get rich. Now, this one right here, I think is a very important one that, uh, you really got to pay attention to, or maybe it's sort of, it's specialized, but patents and trademarks, like people can trademark almost anything. I don't think people realize that. Like me and me and my one of my partners at work were just talking about Michael Buffer and how he trademarked the phrase "Let's get ready to rumble,"
yep,
and he's made millions off of that.
yep,
And and before I even knew that he had trademarked it, I didn't think it could be trademarked. I said, "You can't trademark "Let's get ready to rumble." Anybody can say that." He
you're right,
trademarked. Yeah,
but you
I
can't
mean,
get paid for it.
yeah,
You say it all you want. You can stand up in the
yeah,
middle of church and yell out, "Let's get ready to rumble." But if you get paid for it,
yeah,
you gotta, what I mean? So, but
yeah,
yeah, I mean, that and his brother, Bruce Buffer,
yeah. And his brother is another one.
UFC.
See that's
Oh,
outside of the box thinking right there.
right.
Yeah. What is
So
his
there's
brother's?
plenty of them
What's his
out there,
brother
man.
catchphrase?
It's time. Right, fighting out of the blue corner.
Oh, okay, that's his brother.
He's
Yeah, yeah,
intense.
yeah,
A UFC guy, yeah, man.
yeah.
That dude's intense.
So then there's patents, where like inventions. You invent something, you can have it patented. You know,
Yep.
which is just like trademarking speech. You can invent. I mean, you can patent an invention, and you know, and I say patents are probably, you know, mostly people dealing with engineering and people that are able to do that. But you can invent something and maybe not even know you invented it, but that's the way to go as well to help you get rich because once you patent something or once you trademark something, if anybody wants to use any part of that, you get paid for that. And so,
Well, I know, especially like in the prescription drug industry, man. You get
yeah,
drugs out there, something like Vyvanse, that
yeah,
is not. There's no generic form of it yet. Right? They still have their patent. I believe it runs out this year. I'm not mistaken, but and then once that patent is done, now people start making generic forms of it.
yeah,
But until the patent is done, Vyvanse. If you're prescribed Vyvanse, you're going to
Absolutely.
get Vyvanse. You're going to
And
take Vyvanse, and there's no generic form of it, so you're going
and
to pay
I'm
that
not sure.
Vyvanse
Yeah,
price.
I feel like 7 years, 10 years, something. For a patent, and then after that, you'll have a bunch of knockoffs. But yeah, you when but you'll still get, I want to say, residuals even off the knockoffs. You know, but
Yeah.
patents and trademarks is a really good way of getting rich.
Apparently, real quick, that there's
Yep.
an article that came out January 10th here. And it says here, hydrogen patents indicate a shift towards clean technologies such as electrolysis, according to a new joint study by, whatever deal here. It says that technologies motivated by climate change concerns accounted for nearly 80% of all patents related to hydrogen production in 2020.
Wow.
So again, I know nothing about the hydrogen industry or the energy, you know what I mean?
I,
But
I don't
just
either.
seeing that apparently there is a move towards that stuff, right? More patents in the hydrogen clean technology. So
Yeah.
again, you start hearing things like this, and you stumble upon an article, and then you start doing some
Uh-huh.
research on maybe some companies that are into this stuff, and
Yeah. Yeah.
again, going back to investing in those stocks and your due diligence, man, you might end up finding a home run.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Number 8, digital products. Now, uh, digital products are. Uh, can you help me out with this, bro? Digital product. Maybe we talking
Or
about
like an
products.
NFT,
NFT. There you go. There you
yeah,
go.
like a non fungible token. And again,
Yeah.
if you ask me what all that stuff is, I have no idea. I don't understand how crypto
Me
works.
either.
I mean, I understand the
Yeah.
basics of it, but
Yeah.
don't understand what's so special about an NFT. I have no idea.
I don't either. All I know is that Snoop Dogg made Death Row Records uh, NFT, and he sold like 7,000 of them and got like $5 million or something. I don't know, but NFTs, they can make you rich. I know that. So,
Yeah, they've been
and
doing it.
that's
I'm waiting for all that stuff to come down too, man. I don't know if it's going to be a bubble that pops or it's going to be a crash and whatever,
yeah,
but I don't understand what's so special about NFT. Like it's just a crazy picture of a mom with some bright colors. You know what I mean? A cat with a turtle shell on. Like I don't get. I mean, I understand what they're talking about. More of an evolution of fine art collecting. You know, what I mean, digital
right,
art collecting. But
right,
hell,
yeah,
for every one deal that you have there, hell, I can create the same thing.
yeah, and you can make. I'm not so sure exactly what it's about either. Yeah, because things like that, I don't get what makes them valuable other than a demand for them. And if you don't have a demand for it, it shouldn't be really valuable. But I do know that in the Death Row NFT, Snoop Dogg had put a lot, some other things in there that were probably valuable to people in his lane,
Yeah,
and
yeah, that makes
instead
sense.
of yeah, instead of just the music, and it helped to sell those. But like I said, 7,000 of them, and he made millions off of it. And generally, if you sell 7,000 albums, you'll make $7,000. It's like that. So the NFT was worth that much more than just an album. You know what I'm
Dude,
saying?
there's this deal, this NFT here, a video apparently by somebody by the name of Beeple. It was
Hmm.
auctioned off at Christie's, ended up selling for like $69 million, like a 50-second video.
Wow. So then, yeah. So my question is, what makes it that valuable?
Hey man, it's no different than, somebody tell me right now, what's a Babe Ruth autograph baseball worth? What do you think?
Yeah. So I know Babe Ruth. I would probably say at least $1 million.
Okay. So if somebody else comes and offers me 7 million, that thing is worth 7 million. You know what I mean?
Wow. Yeah.
Whatever somebody's willing to pay for it, right? And you think
Exactly.
like that, whatever somebody's willing to pay for. So if you're saying, hey man, I give you $10 for that autograph Babe Ruth baseball, and somebody else says, no, I give you 10 million for it. Well, it just went from being worth $10 to $10 million.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So
There's
the
another one of a Gucci ghost that kind of wiggles like a little GIF or GIF, whatever.
yeah.
And I mean, there's like $3,600 that it was sold for. Whoever created it ended up selling for 3,600, and the person that currently owns it is asking for 16,000. So you know what I mean? 14,000 increase in price.
Yeah. So the ink that the software that it was made with isn't worth 60. So it's just
The
if you
software, man,
want it.
I can make a gift right now. I can create the same deal in Photoshop and have it wiggle back and forth and do the same thing. I just don't understand why people are. I don't understand
Or how you
like,
could sell it for 16,000, right? Or you would do it.
yeah,
So that's
like
my
I can
thing.
take
So
this gift right now and I can copy it, and you know what I mean, and paste it.
that
You know what I
is
mean?
my thing. How can we? How can will knockoffs be made from NFTs as well? I imagine they
Oh, I'm
can.
sure. I'm
Yeah,
sure.
but are there rules
Oh,
in place like their patent laws and in
yeah,
trademark
I'm sure there
infringement?
is on digital. You know what I mean? Some
Yeah,
form of digital protection. People,
yeah,
man,
yeah,
dude. So going back to that video that sold for 69 million.
yeah.
Listen to this. By the way, sold for 15,000, or excuse me, $15 million more than Monet's painting Nymphaeus that sold in 2014.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Wow. So I know Monet and I know the painting world. Even though it's still unbelievable to me that a painting could be worth that millions like that. But I understand that. But the NFT, the GIF that wiggles, those type of things, yeah, that's tough to understand. But digital products, guys, can make you rich.
Logan Paul.
NFTs, yeah.
Somebody sold a 20,000 dollars a video clip of Logan Paul, which is a video that you could have just jumped on YouTube and also watched.
Oh man, I'm behind. Man, I need to start thinking of this. So can I? I need to think of a NFT and get to work. We had number nine, and this is a really good one. Copyrights,
Yeah,
copyrights. You can copyright any type of literature. I mean, you can copyright books,
long
songs.
lyrics. Yep. I always tell kids in my
Yeah,
class, man, my coach, man, I want to rap or I want to be a musical artist. Like, yo,
mhm,
make sure you date stamp. You write some lyrics down, date stamp it.
yeah,
So if anybody ever comes across, you can say, "No,
yeah.
here's my stuff. It's time and date stamped. You know what I mean? I
Yep,
can show it to you. All right.
yep,
So you
yeah,
want
yeah.
to
That
get
that's
it
the
copyrighted right away.
yep.
Get
That's
yourself.
the in lieu of actually sending it off to Washington, right? That's the first thing you can do is make sure you have the time and date that you created that, right? And
Correct.
then of course there are some poor mean ways of copyright material. You can mail it back to yourself and things like that, and don't open it, right? Just have it unopened, but a copy because if you know or the original and you keep a copy if you need it, that type of thing. But uh copyrights can make you rich, right?
Yeah.
because
And
people
no different
because
than
people want,
copyright in the NFL. There's videos that are copyrighted, right? You know what I mean? There's all
yeah,
kinds of
they're
things. So,
beats. When beats are sampled, people ask for those copyrights, and you got to pay for those copyrights to sample music, right?
yep.
To sample lyrics, just a
Use
little
somebody's
bit.
song. Yep. You might
Yeah,
lose 30 seconds of a song. You might lose 15 seconds of a song. It might end up
yeah.
cost you 250,000, $1 million. You know what I mean? Depending
Yeah,
on who you're
especially,
selling
yeah,
to.
depending on how big the artist is and how much they
Right.
can afford to or how much cachet they have, and they can
What
ask
was that? You
for.
want to use something for the
Yeah,
Rolling Stones? Okay, it's going to cost you. You want to use a Michael Jackson song? It's going to cost you.
you want to use the Beatles? Yeah, it's gonna cost you. You want to use Eric T. Jackson's $250, baby, and you can use it.
I want 150,000.
Ah, yeah. It depends what kind of crunch you in. If you need it really quickly, or if you. So this is what happens in the music industry, and this is how people get got. So they want to. Like a lot of times when you're making music, you're just in the groove, right? You sampling stuff. Yeah, you done already use it. Radio loves it. It's already out there. You know what? Before we get sued, let's go get the copyright. And you go to the publisher, right, who owns the copyright. They say, you know what? Let me do some research. They find out this thing been playing on the radio for 2 weeks already. So
Yeah,
if you hadn't have put it out, they'd have charged you 5,000, right? It's already out there.
it's
Guess what
out.
they gonna charge you? Whatever they want,
Whatever they want. The
whatever they
truth.
want. And it'll be way more than what it would have been if you hadn't have put it out there first. That's just how it works. And too many times people fall victim to that. You know what I'm saying? but copyrights are a really good way of getting rich. Let's look at number 10.
Social media brands, baby.
Yeah, audience and social media brands, and audience, I guess, would be like podcasts, radio, things like that. Social media, of course, is anything in any of the social media sites. But people have really made their fortunes from,
Capitalize it.
yeah, social media brands first, right? I think audience brands, and mainly with the podcast, are they're making their money off of that now, but social media, they've been making money off of that for years, I want to say.
Influencers, man, it's crazy.
Yeah,
Again, going back to what we talked about, right? I want to play video games for a living, and now
yeah,
kids are. There's nothing to watch a family on YouTube that means got 5 million followers, and they make money just putting stuff out on just being a social media influencer.
yeah,
It's
that's
nuts.
it.
I mean, it's
That's
everything.
it,
I mean,
man.
I just looked at a company, Group Black. I think Mac part of it. Shaq. I mean, a lot of these guys that are putting together, putting together bids to buy teams and stuff. I also
Yep,
saw, like Clutch Sports, right? Rich Paul,
yep,
long time LeBron James, childhood friend of LeBron James. They
yeah,
put together Clutch Sports, and now they're signing everybody, and they're getting all these, these college athletes NIL deals. So I
yep,
mean, it's blowing up, man. Brand is everything. Before brand, yes, was important, right? Coca-Cola, Pepsi, those are
yeah,
brand names, right?
yeah, yeah,
And now you hear of some things that are yes, brand names. They may not be house brand name, but I
right.
promise you, they're just as powerful when it comes to brand.
And this is the reason why people like, and I'm not gonna bash the brother, but Ja Rule and people that do certain things in the public eye that aren't acceptable, even if it's just being young and impetuous. He's hurting his brand. They hurt their brand. Like you're at a certain point when you're a brand, you got to start moving like a brand. You know, you've got to have people around you that won't allow you to mess up that brand. You know,
Right?
and
It's
you got to
people
listen
that
to them when they tell you.
yeah, and have trust in the people. If you trust them enough to hire them,
Yeah.
understand. Let your team do their job, and if they're telling you to, John Morant, stay the hell out of trouble. Stop flashing guns, man.
Hey man.
You ain't got
So
to do that. I promise you, you
let
ain't
me
got to do it.
let me tell you this real quick. So the so the first time John Morant had the gun on IG Live, people were saying that he's hanging around the wrong people, right? They influencing him the wrong way. Well, this the second time he had the gun on IG Live, I heard some people say that John Morant's friends need to stop hanging around him because he influencing them the wrong
Yeah,
way.
do all fun stuff, man. And I ain't judging anybody. It's not my job to judge anybody, but man, you
Yeah.
got the opportunity of a lifetime right now.
Yep. Yep.
I mean, you're doing what millions of kids, millions of people would love to do as far as playing in the NBA.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, don't take that for granted. You know what I mean? You're gonna live your life and do whatever you want, y'all. And
Right.
I ain't judging you for anything, baby, but man, you got a lot of people that would kill to be in your shoes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And you feel like you need that gun for protection, that's
I'm all
fine.
for it. I'm
Yeah.
okay with that. I'm
I'm
okay
all
with
for
that.
that as well, but you
But
don't
brandishing a
need.
firearm for no reason, just to
Yeah.
show it, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
One of the
That's
deals that I've
something.
always liked about, things I've say like about this is counterintuitive, but liked about the mafia is that they didn't have to go around and tell people what they were doing, and they didn't have to go
Right.
around, and just blast guns. You know what I mean? Like it was understood.
Yeah.
Not to
Yeah.
mention, I don't even want you to know that I got it on me
Right.
because if you come
Right.
out here acting stupid, right? Part of my friends, would you seen that chart?
Yeah.
Walk around, and find out, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes you got to leave, right? And sometimes you got to leave. Just look. You don't want this. It's not what you thought it was. You know what I mean? So I don't need anybody knowing that I have a weapon on me. Anyway, long story short, just come on, man. Come on, dog.
Yeah. Yeah.
Come on.
And I just said that to say that he's a brand and I wanted to start acting more like a brand. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. And not only that, but you got to think that how you talk about tarnishing the brand, right? Tarnishing your own brand, the
Yeah,
name on the back of the jersey, the name on
yeah,
the front of that jersey, right? Now the NBA, right? And you got to think about the opportunity that you've been gifted with.
right.
There are a lot of people that came before you, right?
Yep,
So when you're tarnishing that brand, man, there's a lot of people that came before you that laid a lot of groundwork for that stuff that
right.
just out of respect for a lot of other people. But again, do you, baby? It's your life.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
John, if you're watching this, or if you ever get a hold of this man, please give me a call. Look me up on EightOne Capital, man. And, make you
He'll
on your
set you
client.
up. He'll
Yeah,
set
take
you
you
up.
on your client, man, and make sure that if you do go on, you do want to continue to do things that could be detrimental to your playing career. At least you got somebody, if you're managing your money, so managing your investments, so you can live.
Absolutely. Now the audience part of that, the podcast that are now, uh, everybody seems to be doing one, and to be honest, like, and this is a podcast as well, people. Let me, if y'all don't know, this is what this is too.
We just
Uh,
get paid for this. We just put it out for the people to.
they are fun. It's so many people doing them. I'm sure everybody is not making money
No,
or
no,
making the
for
kind
sure.
of
But they're
money.
fun to do. I enjoy
They're
doing this, man.
absolutely fun, and they still reach a certain audience and help the people that they help. And that's a great thing right there. And so, you know, uh, podcasts have really been growing, and I think they're only going to get bigger because now I find myself uh, watching and listening to podcasts more than I do. I don't hardly listen to the radio much anymore. It's podcasts, and when I'm watching television, I'm watching a podcast while I'm watching television. It's that crucial, and they're not all my own stuff. I watch other people's stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I mean, I love all the smoke with this dude Barnes and Steven Jackson.
Uh huh.
I don't know if you ever seen that, man. Have you ever seen it? They had one with KD, and KD's
I've
talking
heard,
about Michael Jordan on it, man.
I heard
Yeah,
it.
if you get a chance to watch it, dude, go back and watch it. You can probably find it online somewhere, man. But
Uh huh.
all the smoke, and they had one with KG, and
Oh
he's
yeah,
talking
I've
about
seen all the smoke plenty of
yeah,
times. Uh huh.
yeah.
Uh
Matt Barnes and Steve Jackson. And I tell
huh.
you,
Uh huh.
they did one, but they interviewed
Oh, and I thought,
Barnett.
so when Matt Barnes
Oh,
was balling, I thought he was like a thug, man. But the boy got knowledge, and he speaks real
and he's
well.
very well spoken.
Him
Both
and
of them, man.
Steven
You know
Jackson,
what I mean?
yeah, yeah. They
Yeah,
played like they played tough, but
but they're
yeah, they
supposed to. You remember? Look, you remember Malice at the Palace? Boy, Steven Jackson was not playing. That's one you want on
not
your side.
playing.
You know what I mean? I mean
Right,
that boy.
right.
Look, if it's going down, if
Yeah,
I'm with you, I'm all the way with you.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah. And he a
So, but no,
Texas
they did
boy.
that one with Garnett, man, and Garnett was talking about Mike, talking about Jordan, and oh man,
Yeah. So
yeah,
I love Club Shay Shay, man. Shannon Sharp, just I love his podcast. I watch that a lot, and that's a good one. But yeah, yeah, I love mine too. I watch uh Market Watch every day. This is a great podcast, people.
the
But
greatest. You know what I mean?
the greatest. But audience and
Yeah.
social media brands is another thing that it's number 10 because it's the newest, but it's the fastest growing. I want to say, and it's helping a lot of people to get rich and to do things that, and one of the biggest is Country Wayne. He just came out of nowhere with social media, and he's doing a lot of things right now because of it. I want to say a lot of people started on YouTube before I did, and I really wasn't understanding YouTube or how to make it work for you or use it the way I wanted to. But YouTube, you know, a lot of people came up off of YouTube, and there was some other social media sites back in the day that people came up off of, like what, Vine and some other
Fine. Yeah,
stuff.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
but
MySpace. Yeah. No, they're plenty of.
it's
You know what I mean?
MySpace. Yeah,
MySpace. Man.
yeah. So the social
But
media
it's
brands,
nice to see that again. People can be creative and use the talents that they have, man,
yeah,
and
man.
you can capitalize on that. I'm not mad at anybody for doing
Right, right,
it.
right.
I mean, if you found a niche, man, that's something that's good. You know what I mean? You can get people
Yeah.
that sponsor, and you got a good enough following, man. By all means, do you
Do
go get
you?
it? Yeah,
Yeah,
go get it, man. Go get it.
yeah. Well, good job, man. I hope everybody uh got something out of that, man, and go back and check out 1 through 10. If you need to so that you can write them down. Do some of those or all of them, whatever which ones work best for you. I want to say, I'm on probably like four of them, maybe five right now, but uh, you know, you know, they all help you to gain wealth and to get rich. Let's move into so that So I hope everybody got something great out of that. I wanted to talk about this to conclude today's show, my brother, because I saw this on a website and it was the well it the, so it said the wealthiest billionaires in each state, but then
Hmm.
like the first three or four states, the wealthiest people weren't even billionaires; they were millionaires. But I don't want to go
Oh,
through. Yeah, I'm not going through every state, but I'm gonna go through like some important states or maybe some states that I like or important people that are on there. So maybe if you can ask me a state that you want to check out if you haven't, but I may not have it on here. But so I thought about Alaska just because it's Alaska, right? Like, who's the wealthiest billionaire in Alaska, and it turns out it's a couple of guys named Leonard Hyde, Jonathan Rubini, and family. 300 million. So and Alaska is huge land wise, but people wise, it's not a lot of people in Alaska, right?
correct.
So there's probably not a lot for you to get wealth from in Alaska. And these guys, I think, got their wealth from real estate in Alaska. And it's only 300 million. I say only 300 million because a lot of these other guys are billionaires. Uh, Florida is sort of a big state, so I wanted to know who that guy was. Uh, Thomas Peteroff or Peterofi, 20 billion, 20.1 billion in
1.1.
Florida. Yeah, Nevada.
Oh, he's the founder and chairman of Interactive Brokers.
There you go.
That
Okay.
makes sense.
Yeah, yeah. Nevada. Uh, Miriam Adelson. 27.5 billion. She's in the casinos. Obviously, she's in
Not
Nevada. 20,
surprising.
yeah,
The
surprise.
little
20.
man. Yeah,
Yeah.
on a Sheldon Adelson.
So I'm gonna do Texas last, just so y'all know. Oregon. Phil Knight. Or I should have asked to see if you could have guessed. You probably could have though, because
Phil
but
Knight
Phil,
would have been the easy one. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
it was an easy one. Phil Knight, 47.3 billion. He's the founder, chairman of Nike. Me and my girl recently watched the show Air on Amazon Prime. It was good, bro. If you
That's
haven't
what I heard. My
seen it,
son went and watched it. The movies, man, he said it was
yeah,
very good.
it was, man. I really enjoyed it. Uh, Arkansas. Who do you think is going to be the top
Oh,
billionaire?
it's gotta be a Walton.
It's
He's
got
a
to be a
Walton.
Walton, right? So you
Yeah,
smart, man. Jim
Walmart, man. Yeah.
Jim Walton.
Is that the son of
It's
Sam
probably,
Walton?
if it's not a grandson, yeah, it's a son. But he's at 66.2 billion, and he's
Is that
a
all?
Walmart. You know what?
The youngest son of Walmart founder Sam Walton.
Oh, Jim Walton is okay.
Yeah, Jim
So
Walton
for
is
the
the
longest, all the children had the same amount of net worth. I don't know if they've differed now. Maybe some people have sold off some stuff. But for the longest, I used to see four Walton children with the exact same amount, like 30 billion or whatever it was back then. But yeah, Jim Walton is at 66 right now.
66.2, and his brother Rob
Oh, he
Walton, the
has
former
60.
chairman,
Oh, okay,
65 billion. The
65
two
billion.
richest people in the state.
Okay. Now we're at New York. Who do you think is the most richest person in New York, brother?
In New York.
A former mayor.
It's got to be Bloomberg.
Bloomberg. That's right.
Is
82
it?
billion.
Gosh almighty.
I was like, man, 82 billion, and it says that he's over at Bloomberg, I guess, media company, but I didn't even know he was over there. But 82 billion, yeah, like wow. So then I wanted to know. This is just for me, Hawaii. So what billionaires in Hawaii? a guy named Larry Ellison.
Oh, Oracle.
106. Is it Oracle? Okay, because it said
Yeah, Oracle's co-founder. Yeah,
technology. Okay, so he's
yeah.
the co-founder of Oracle.
Co-founder and chairman, chief technology officer.
106 billion. Yeah, yeah. All
Oh
right,
my
look at
gosh.
you, man.
Illinois, 90,000 acre island he bought nearly all of in 2012 for 300 million.
300 million, and that didn't knock off the a dent in his net worth.
And that was back in 2012. Who knows what that 90,000 acres is worth now? Well, oof.
Oh yeah, boy. Yeah. California. You care to guess?
Larry Page,
Yeah. How'd you know? Who is Larry Page? I don't know Larry Page.
Google co-founder, man.
Oh, is he?
Yep.
See? Oh man. Larry Page, 111 billion. And it says technology. It doesn't have the company. That's why I didn't know who it was.
Yeah,
Okay.
software billionaire.
Wow.
Google.
Yeah. So I guess I could have guessed maybe a Google co-founder or whatever, being in California. But so then this next one you should be able to guess this one as well. Nebraska.
Oh, that's my boy Buffett. Oracle of Omaha, baby. Yeah.
That's right. 118 billion. 118 billion for Warren Buffett. Then we got one more state before we get to Texas, and you should be able to know this one too. Washington.
State of Washington.
Yeah, state of Washington.
Ooh.
So
Bezos? Is it Bezos?
yes, yeah.
Bezos?
I didn't know Amazon was based out of Washington, but yeah, it's
Uh-huh.
Bezos. So that's the only way that people may not know is if you don't know where Amazon is based out of. And I
I
didn't.
only think Amazon. I only go with Bezos just because I know. I mean, I knew that Amazon, is a Washington-based company, and I always think when I think of Washington, I think of Starbucks. So I always
Okay,
try to
that's
keep
right.
that.
Yeah, and I haven't named him yet. So
Yeah.
you got to be on there somewhere. And so this next one or this last one, I didn't know was from Texas. Who do you think it
But he's not
is?
from Texas.
Or I didn't know he was based in Texas, but maybe I should have. Maybe I did and just forgot. Go ahead,
The one
tell
and
us
only. The one and only.
the one and only.
Mr. Martian himself. Well, I swear people think that man's an alien. That dude is above average intelligent, but I'll tell you this. Elon Musk.
Uh huh.
And I don't know if he's reclaimed world's richest man from the Arnault family, but was worth like, I don't know, 219 billion, something like that.
Yeah, 219. Absolutely, man. And yeah, I don't know. No, I want to say he's third, something like that, man. Yeah,
On the billionaires list?
I want to say yeah. That's what. I'm not for sure, man. That's just what I remember. But because you remember, Tesla just went down quite a bit, man. It feels like he just lost a lot of his net worth, like here recently.
That whole Twitter deal, yeah, and having to
Mhm.
sell off shares of
Yep.
Tesla to be able to buy it. He
No,
just broke. He just
after that, like in the last week or two, he lost like 200 billion, or no, not 200. He lost a lot in net worth here recently. It might have been the earnings. You know what I'm
Yeah, it
saying?
could have been just from the drop
Yeah,
because it was trading at
right. That's-
$208 a share and dropped back down to the 150s. But
yeah,
as far as
but
billionaires, you got Bernard Arnault and family
uh
is
huh.
number one.
Okay.
That's Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos in a third place, Larry Ellison in fourth place. Fifth is Bill Gates. Sixth, Warren Buffett, Larry Page, Sergey Brin. I don't know who
Wow.
Steve Ballmer is. Oh, a Microsoft guy.
So
And
where is Bill
Carlos,
Gates? Where is Bill Gates? What state is he based out of? Is it
I don't
Cali?
know. It just says here in the United States. It doesn't say where.
Yeah, because I would think,
Let's
but
see.
if he's
Uh,
California, he's gonna be behind Larry Page anyway. Uh,
yep. Yeah, if he's in California, that's for sure. Yeah,
yeah,
behind Larry Page.
yeah. So,
Oh no, he's not. Bill Gates ahead of Larry Page.
why? But is he based out of California though?
I don't know if he's based out of California.
Oh, okay, yeah. And the others, well, I looked at all 50 states and I didn't see Bill Gates on there, so he's behind one of these heavyweights. You know. Uh, so Elon Musk is based out of Austin.
Yeah,
Tesla
that's
and
because of
SpaceX, yeah, based out
that
of Austin.
gigafactory. Yeah,
Mhm.
and between that and and
Taking
SpaceX,
taking advantage of these tax breaks, baby.
don't. I'm not mad at him. Not mad at that dude one
At
bit.
all. I'm glad he's doing it. Creating jobs for people in Austin. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, same. Bringing jobs and bring that money over here.
Yeah,
Bring it back
yeah.
here.
Well,
There
no,
was another one. Ray Dalio out of Connecticut
yeah.
was
Oh,
one.
that's
There
right.
was
I,
one
I saw
dude.
Connecticut. Yo, my boy Reg is on here. Reg, man. Yeah, I think Buffett is still kicking out of Nebraska.
Yep,
Yeah,
Nebraska.
yeah, he's not out of Washington. But appreciate you being on here, dog. You know what I'm saying? Uh, yeah. So those are the main ones that I wanted to hit. You know what I'm saying? Um, but
Yep.
appreciate everybody for watching. Uh, you know, 10 assets that are making people rich, man. Uh, make sure you, uh, you know, try and take advantage of one, two, three, a few of these things before you know, and you know, and I'm sure there's other things as well, but yeah, just saying like that. Any parting words, my brother?
Man, I wanted to take a minute and recommend maybe a little reading for people.
Go ahead.
Yeah, maybe it's a little light reading for you, man. There's a couple of good ones out there, but I've been listening to The Dichotomy of Leadership, written by former Navy SEAL Jocko Willink, who also has a very good podcast. Maybe everyone listen to guys on different podcasts, man. But The
Yeah,
Dichotomy of Leadership, written by Jocko Willink and Leif Babin. They also wrote Extreme Ownership.
the
So they
dichotomy
of leadership.
of leadership.
Yeah, yeah, it's a good one, man. They do a lot of they apply all their Navy SEAL training into the business aspect, right? So take it into corporate America and be able to use some of the same things. Like one of the chapters I looked the other day was, to be aggressive but not reckless.
Absolutely,
It's okay to have
absolutely.
that aggressive mindset, but don't
Okay,
do it at the cost of being reckless. So anyway, that was a good one, man. I'm listening to right now the dichotomy of leadership. So
good, man. We could use that one. You got I know I'm putting you on the spot, man. You've been thinking of any stock tips to get to people this week, or you want to say that for next show?
you know, man, I'm waiting for the Nvidia to come down, y'all. I really am. And every time I
Yeah,
think like, oh man, maybe it'll bounce here and come back down a little bit, right? Retrace
yeah.
a little bit, and it just continues to stay up on the run, on the run, on
Hmm,
the run.
hmm.
But there are some ones out there. There's one, matter of fact, called BX Blackstone. One that again I own. I like
Yep,
it.
yep, yep.
Talk
Me
about
too.
something that's kind of the private equity side.
Hmm.
I mean, they're very good. I mean, yeah, the dividend yield of 4.66%. They pay almost $4 a year in dividends.
Okay.
So one that I like as far as their dividend safety, right? Their growth, they've been very consistent with their dividend. Right, been very profitable, and you know, I think that they're looking at trying to acquire, if I'm not mistaken, some like regional lenders, right? Some of those assets, and being able to extend out. There was something written on an article about trying to extend out, I guess, these loans to insurers, and
Yeah,
then the insurer pay Blackstone a fee for steering assets to them. You know what I mean? So,
yeah.
but Blackstone BS is one that I like. So check it out, look at it. If you like it, buy it. If you don't like it, obviously don't buy it.
What's
Again,
the
I do own
what
it, and
what's the ticker?
BX.
BX.
Yeah,
All right, all right, all right. Y'all heard that, people. EightOne Capital in the building. Appreciate you, Eddie Chinea.
appreciate being on, man. It's a pleasure as always, brother.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm Erik T. Jackson, guys. Thank you for hanging in there with us. Uh, it's late. Let's get out of here. Until next show, man. Get money
You're already all the time. All
all
right,
the
brother.
time, baby. All right, baby.